All right, let's see. I think we on. Yep, we on. Got Facebook going. We got IG going. This is awesome. What's going on, everybody? Hope y'all are doing well. So, um, this has been what I'm getting ready to share with y'all has literally been rattling around in my head for like the last, I don't know, month or so. I just didn't have like a forum to put this conversation as of late, just because I've been kind of busy running around. Let's see. All right, y'all. We got IG going. We got Facebook going. This is awesome. Okay, so I want to kind of share this thought with y'all. So I've been having this thing roll around in my head for like the last uh, few days. Really, probably the last few weeks, honestly. And I just couldn't figure out like the best way to articulate it. And finally, it kind of hit me, and I was like, you know what? I think it's kind of time to share this information. So for those of you who are just hopping in, here's what I need you to do. Inside of the chat right now, I want you to do me a favor. Put a 1 if you already have a side business. I want you to put a 2 if you just have a side hobby, meaning, yeah, I do it every now and then, but I'm not really like, it's not really grown the way I would like it to. Put a 3 if you're just like, I'm thinking about it, but I just don't know what yet I'm gonna do, right? Like it's on my mind, haven't done it yet, but I'm interested, right? So here's the thing and the reason why. So again, a 1, I got a side business and I'm running it, right? 2, I got a hobby, not really hadn't turned it really into a business yet. And 3, I'm thinking about it. I haven't done that. Put that down in the chat. And here's the reason why, because I think for all of us, right? Sometimes some of these conversations around like money get taboo, but you know what I figured out? Everybody's thinking about money all day, every day. You know why? Because you need it in order to live your life, right? And this is something that I think that we don't always understand the importance of what we're saying until we run up on real life and then realize, oh, either I probably shouldn't have said that, or now I got a redefined way or a redefined meaning of what I've been saying the entire time, right? Like you hear some people say, money ain't everything. Okay. All right. If you believe money and everything, you're absolutely right. If you don't believe money and everything, or if you do believe money is everything, you're absolutely right. Hey, whatever you think, you're exactly right. But here's what I want. Here's what I want us to think about. Okay, let's just take that statement. Money ain't everything. Got it. But let me ask you a question. If money wasn't everything to you, how then do you achieve the things that you need to do so that you have a full life? Because here's what I learned to do. I used to say that too until I had to redefine it. I've had enough crazy experiences, enough situations in my life to realize no, money is not everything, but I should have completed the thought. Money ain't everything, but it is the thing to get me everything. I hope you understand what I just said. Money ain't everything, but it is the thing to get me everything. So some people say, well, you don't need money to do a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, cool. Well, baby boy busts his teeth on the concrete skateboard and now he needs braces. I think I need money to pay for them braces, right? He needs braces, but it's going to take me money to get the braces, right? You might have financial stress going on in your home, right? And things are difficult. But you will say, well, it's just we got to keep working together. No, if you had less financial stress, meaning if you had the money, you would lower the stress, right? So sometimes we got to redefine what we mean by that or understand in full context. So when we make these blanket statements, oh, money and everything, you're right. But can we just at least be honest that money is the vehicle to get me to everything I want, right? So let's just look at this for a second, because this is the reason why I want to kind of talk about, like, all right, what is it then that we're doing, right? And I just wanted to kind of paint that as a backdrop, Because I realized for me, and this is just stuff that I've been learning about money, my time, my effort, my energy, where I place my focus. And for all of us, especially for those of you who are in my side business builders group, I am constantly talking and pushing about, like, listen, I need you to work your day job. But I know for many of us, we're working it in survival mode, or we're only showing up average. Not many of us are showing up to really win and build and grow and 10x our employment side of our career, because we haven't effectively learned how to build our side business in a way that would teach us things that would go back into that would 10x the way we show up in our day jobs. And so I want you to understand, like, there's some really important things to understand about money. Okay. And I want to show you just one. This is like just one thing that I just want to share. Okay. So let's just look at it this way. Okay. We're just going to take just our salary. Okay. Let's just look at one salary. Okay. So let's say our salary, I'm going to take a conservative number. Let's say our salary is like $60K a year, right? So our salary is $60,000 a year. We're just going to use this as an example. You put in whatever your number is, okay? I'm just using this as an example to illustrate this point. So let's say right now it takes us 365 days to make this $60,000. But you know what I found to be really interesting about the time that it takes me to make this money? This is what I found out. There's this word that we all are dealing with, and the one that we think about all the time, and it's constantly like in our lives. And you know what that word is? That word, I'm gonna change the color so it'll really stand out. That word is bills, right? That word is bills. And what I find really interesting is that it took me a while to start questioning myself. Like, it took me a while, meaning I wasn't willing. There's been a long time in my life where I would not question my own current default beliefs. I just wouldn't. I don't know why. Maybe it's because my ego. Maybe it's because yeah, that's right. The words are backwards. Hold on. I'm gonna do this on IG. Guys, I have to turn this around only because if I don't, then you guys can't see it. So let's switch this around. And then we're gonna go here. And then I'm gonna put this here. And then that way you guys can see what I'm seeing. Okay, there we go. Perfect. All right. So now my IG people can see the words the right way. All right. Anyway, here's the point. What I realized is that for the longest in my life, I would make these statements, right? And I would say things that were just not helpful to my growth. And I was doing more to protect my ego than I was to actually grow and learn, right? And so I want to show you something. This $60,000 is really being controlled by this. Okay? Now, let's just look at something here, because I'm going to show you something. I want to show you something really quickly that I have found to be a crazy situation. So $60,000, it takes us 365 days to make that. What all is pulling at that $60,000? Well, somebody tell me in the chat, write a few things in the chat, that if I make $60,000 a year and it takes me 365 days to make that, what all could be pulling at that $60,000, either every day, every month, or whatever? First would be food. Okay, that's a fair statement, right? Food. What about rent or mortgage, right? Some of us got a mortgage. What else, y'all? Cell phones, right? Got to pay those, right? Car note, right? Got a car note. I have, what else, y'all? Like, what other things are pulling it? Oh, some of us, we fancy, so we get the lawn care paid for. Whether we're paying with our kids doing it, or we're paying a professional service. We got the light bill. We got the light bill, right? We've got we've got dinner out. So let's just write out the things that we do. Let's say summer trip. We're running up on summer trips. That's got to be paid for. What else? What's the big 3-letter word right now that everybody's worried about? GAS, gas, right? Gas costs, right? Electricity costs, right? Electricity costs, right? Again, we could go on, but the whole point is that every single day or year, there's tons of stuff pulling at this. For some of us, I'm gonna add student loans. You got to make those payments, right? Credit cards, right? Right? There's we can make a ridiculous list of stuff that's pulling at this salary of $365, or $60,000 at 365 days. The whole point is, the more bills that you have, the more this seems to be like a real struggle. And what is the first thing we think about? Again, now, this is only for people who want to be honest, right? The first thing you're thinking about is, the default question is, I got to make more money. And that's not a bad thing. You should be thinking that way. That's actually the good thing. But then, typically what happens is, when the first time we start thinking about we got to make more money to cover all of these costs, then you start thinking about all the ways you can make it, right? So you start thinking, well, I could go get what? What do we say? We always say, I'll go get a second job. But here's the problem with getting a second job. This $60,000, you're not going to get a second job that's going to pay you as much, because then you won't have the ability and the hours to work this job. And typically when that second job comes around, we tend to make less money on that second job than we do the first job. But you know what also is not talked about on any of this? Is this other word. There's another word that we got to talk about, because this 4-letter word is what is the problem. It's the time, right? I don't have time to go get a second job, which, by the way, most people who are working a second job are earning about, according to statistics, you're earning about maybe not even half, maybe if you're lucky, 30 to 40% of what your main salary is at a second job. Okay? Maybe. Right? Some people may be working like early morning. They go in at 7, they get off at like 3 or 4, then they go work in another job from like 6 to midnight. But what's the problem with that? The time. I have no energy to do the other things that I want to do, right? And typically when we work a second job, what happens is that job is actually typically this word that is overused right now, but I understand it. It's just a hustle, right? It's just a small hustle. Something that is helping us cover all of this stuff, right? Maybe a little more. It's just a hustle. So what's my point? My point is that, listen, it's not, this is what I found out. I did not realize this until I had to start questioning my own default beliefs about money and time and the effort and the things that I was willing to do for it, and all this stuff that I created in my head or started to assume about that. I realized this. Chris, you live in the greatest technological advanced time ever in human history. But what has, and all of that technology, what it means is all of that stuff has been updating all the time. Now it's starting to update even faster. You know what hadn't updated yet? My default way of making money. That hadn't updated yet. So my thought is, well, if I go get a second job, I'll be good. But I have no time. I'm probably gonna, this should be known. When people gain more weight, they're more stressed, right? They don't have any time. They barely are sleeping. It doesn't mean that getting a second job is bad. And trust me, I'm not saying that. I am saying you've got to update the way you think about earning additional income. In the greatest time in human history of technology. So what's my point? My point is I had to update the way I thought about making money. I spent more time here thinking about all these different hustles I could do. What is a hustle? I want to kind of talk about this for a second. What is a hustle? So to me, a hustle, right, is just it's the same version of a job, but it's just the way we look at it, right? The way we do things. Hustles are typically just what I like to call one-to-one transactions, right? I just do something and I just expect to get paid for it right then. And I keep doing it over and over and over again. And that's just the way I get paid, right? And a lot of people do a lot of different hustles. And I think hustling is great. Matter of fact, I think a hustle is the precursor to what we'll talk about in a moment. It's the most important precursor, in fact. Because if you can't hustle really well, it's hard for you to make the transition to the next thing. So a hustle to me is a one-on-one transaction. A hustle, honestly, is typically as manual as it gets. Meaning the way you make the money is a lot of 100% hands-on hard labor. Doing hair on the side from your day job. Mowing lawns. You might be doing like a SaaS, a software as a service. So what you're doing is you're saying, hey, you pay me for this service. I then got to go deliver. Unfortunately, that also means if I'm not available, then I can't deliver and I can't sell, right? Whatever it is I'm doing. So then there's that. So what I found is that most hustles are one-on-one transactions, right? It's just one-on-one. You pay me, I do it. You pay me, I do it. You pay me, I do it. Okay, cool. Then it is also mostly manual because that's the way we think, right? I'm just go get this hustle. Bartending, right? We're just going to get another job, right? Just going to bartend. Cool, that's you, do you. There's nothing wrong with that. I think hustling is great because it teaches you skills, it teaches you persistence, but you're not going to retire or live your most fulfilled life hustling your entire life. You're not. Because here's the other problem with hustles. Hustles tend to be seasonal. And I don't just mean seasonal like seasons like summer, spring, winter, and fall. I mean for you personally. I mean, sometimes you feel like doing it, and for a stretch, you won't. Right? Like, let's just be real. For a while, you like, oh yeah, I was doing it hard. I was getting it. Why? Because people were buying your one-on-one transaction a whole lot. So you was like, oh, this is great. But then when you started getting a bunch of no's, or nobody really was looking for it, or nobody really kind of wanted it, you stopped. And now somebody every now and then will come and ask you and say, hey, you still doing that? Oh, let me get some. Oh, you still making that happen? Man, let me get some. And you fulfill it, yeah, but it's not really your thing. I also have found, as a result, you do your hustle based on, oh, hold on. You tend to do your hustle based on your mood. That's how most people hustle. If I'm up today, cool, I'm with it. If I don't feel like doing it, I ain't doing it. Right? That's typically a hustle. Right? So what's my point? So that $60,000 that you're making when you go try to make a second job, right? You'll typically go hustle, but then you quickly find yourself going, man, I don't want to do this no more. And most of us will just shut down and do what? Just go back to our day job. And we go from hustle to hustle to hustle to hustle to hustle, right? For whatever reason, whatever your reasons are. So then why is this a precursor though? The reason it's a precursor is because this is what I'm finding. The more people I talk to, is so interesting. It's a precursor because if you're not really good at running a sound side hustle, if you're not really good at moving past, how you feel and your mood, it's going to be hard for you to create a real side business. Because here's the difference between you creating a hustle and a business. A hustle is typically one-on-one transactions. A business figures out how to do multiple sales at once. Sales all the time, even while you're sleeping. Right? That's a real business. So let's take the bartender example for a chance, right? So as a bartender, I'm working because maybe I just want to go on vacation this summer. So I'm going to work from January to May, and then I'm done with that bartending job because I'm going to Paris in the summer. Awesome. Good for you. But the moment you stop, that money stops too. Not for the restaurant owner. See the difference? I own the restaurant. I have employees. So guess what? And people like to eat. So you know what that means? That literally means I can go to Paris and come back and my business is still running. That's the difference, right? Stick with me because this is going to make sense, a lot more sense in a minute, because I'm going to show you something that's really interesting. So, all right, so multiple sales. So instead of it being manual, a side business tends to have a ton of automation. Automations of processes, systems, they'll buy tools. It's a lot of investment into automation. Why? Because I don't want my mood or the amount of whatever, human whatever, to stop me, my ability to generate revenue for my business. So you start looking at automation. It's not seasonal. It's all the time. How do I know this? Y'all, it is literally the weekend. Do you know? Okay, all right. So as of this recording, right? It is, Memorial Day weekend. If you have a hustle, you may or may not be doing it right now. You may or may not. Why? Because it's the holiday and I'm trying to chill, right? I ain't trying to do much. I'm trying to chill. If I got a side business, it's open today. So is Target, Walmart, Costco, BJ, Sam's Club, the gas station, the cleaners, everybody, like everybody's open. The fast food restaurant, the fine dining restaurants, everybody's open because they don't just do stuff seasonally. They may have products that are seasonal. They may have software that's seasonal as a technology company, but you don't have. No. We're open. Because probably in my side business, there's a lot online. So you can get my stuff whenever. Right? The seasons don't even matter. That's the difference. My mood has nothing to do with this. You know why? Because if I have a real side business, I have learned to be emotionless. I have emotions, yes. I'm human. I feel things. But my emotions don't determine my job, my business. I might not like something. If somebody tells me no, guess what? I'm still back up and running. If somebody complained about my business, I'm still moving because I have a real business. But this is the precursor, and I'm going to tell you why. If you're really good at this, boy, when you find out the benefits of having a side business, you will almost lose your mind. Because you'll be like, wait a second. If I had this, then I can reduce the manual nature of what I do. Uh-oh, that means I can make more money over time. Uh-oh, that means, you know what? I can actually like build something and I can hire people to do the parts that I don't like. Which, by the way, with a side businesses start to all of a sudden hire talent. Because you know what you start realizing? And this is one of the biggest things I'm going to tell you right now when it comes to having a side business. Most people will tell you before it turns into a full-time entrepreneurship, you know the question that you got to start asking? Would I hire me? Would I hire me? Like, would I hire? If I would hire me, right, then okay, great. But the truth is, you start learning more about yourself as your side business starts to take off. And you realize the areas that you're not good in. So you can make a decision. You can either stop and say, I want to do this because I'm being exposed, or you can say, you know what? Let me get strong in certain areas and let me hire where I'm weak. So now you got to reinvest the dollars. See, in a hustle, guess what most people do in a hustle, y'all? This is crazy. In a hustle, they want to keep all the money because I'm trying to go somewhere. I got something I want to do. Guess what? Over here, the money is reinvested back into the business all the time. The money is reinvested and reinvested and reinvested and reinvested. It is not yours to just go do what you want to do. And that's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people, right? But you can get from here to here. This is definitely doable. You can go from having a little hustle on the side to building and making the leap over to building you a successful side business. Now, why did I bring this up? I want to go back to the salary for a second, because you need a context to what I'm about to share, because there's a lot more I can tell, but interest of time, it's your weekend. I got you. I want to show you something. So then you might be asking yourself, well, Chris, I only got $6,000. How in the world am I going to start a side business? And the only reason why we might start asking ourselves that is because, again, if you don't update you and the way you think, you will be unfortunately believing that I'm going to need a whole lot to start my side business. And then you start looking at your $60,000 and the first thing you go is, this is all I make. You don't know how many people I see say all the time, hey, how much money do I need to start me a side business? And that's not the question you should be asking. The real question you should be asking is, what is me building this side business going to allow me to be able to do in life? What will it afford me the permission to do? Why is that? Let's talk about this for a second. So let's go back to our example. $60,000, it takes us 365 days to make it. Can I ask you a question? This is just so that I know, like, I'm not tripping. And I'm gonna make this statement and then I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna show you. $60,000 is a lot of money. $30,000 is a lot of money. $10,000 is a lot of money. And are you thinking to yourself, Chris, a year? Are you kidding me? Dude, I can't live off of $10,000 a year. Actually, you can. Just check this out. So here's what I want us to think about. All right. So we're going to use our 60K, right? So 60,000 a year, right? We got all this stuff pulling at that one thing. And I know for those of you who are, again, if you're part of my Side Business Builders Facebook group, you get this. But for those of you who are not, here's what I want you to think about. It's not that this is not a lot of money. Yes, you probably need a budget, right? Some of us are if you're buying Starbucks every day, come on now, right? Like, if you always splurging every weekend, probably should cook a little more, right? The whole point is that there's things you could do to make this, a little bit, more comfortable. But here's the question. How long do we want $80,000 a year to be a lot of money, $100,000 a year to be a lot of money, $300,000 a year to be $1 million a year. How long do you want that to continue to be a lot of money in your life? Well, it starts the way you start looking at this number, your current salary right now. I want everybody in the chat right now to drop a gym or fire emoji if the money you make right now, if you knew how to be able to double it or triple it, it would be the best thing for you in your life right now. Just drop a fire emoji or a gym emoji. Just go ahead and drop it right now in the chat. If knowing how to do that successfully would be like a great thing for you in your life right now, just drop a fire emoji or a gym emoji. Because I'm going to show you something that I wish when I was starting out in my employment chapter of my career, somebody would have shown me. Now, granted, I had to become the person who could accept this and understand this, right? So there's that learning curve. But I just wish I would have heard this early on in my career, because I would have grown leaps and bounds had I had the information and what I'm about to share with you. So let's just go here for a second, okay? It takes 365 days to make that money. Now, what if you said, okay, with my side business, right? I'm gonna start learning how to build it the right way, right? I'm gonna start learning how to build with my side business the right way. What if my side business, I could literally start earning an additional, or with that same money, it took me 9 months to make that same $60,000. I think that would be kind of cool. That means you literally cut off half of the year to make the same amount of money, which means clearly your money is growing. However it's growing, right? Whatever it is you're doing, whatever things that are going on, great, that's awesome. That means your money is growing, right? So just imagine if you were able to do that, right? Well, imagine then if doing your money, you were making it in 6 months. Wouldn't that be cool? My IG people, we still good? Let me see. Yep, my IG people, we still good. Okay. We still good. All right. So imagine if from 6 months, we went from 6 months to 3 months. Every 3 months, you're making $60,000. I'm sorry. I don't think you're having a problem. I think you can get the number 2 instead of the value meal now, right? I don't think you're complaining about gas prices. Here's the other thing. What if you made it in a month? That's crazy. You imagine $60,000 a month? Now, to some people, what are you crazy? How in the world is somebody gonna do that? There's people doing it all the time. Here's what they figured out, especially if they worked a day job. It's not the number that is the problem. This is what you gotta master. And this is why having a side business is so great. It's just how fast you make the money. That's all it is. It's just about how fast you make the money. If you made the money faster, then it won't be a problem. So go back to what I said. So now, if it was $10,000 a year, if you made $10,000 a month, are you crying? If it's $20,000 a year, if you made $20,000 a month, is that a problem? If you made $120,000 a year in your salary and you made that every single month or every 9 months or every 6 months, think about it. If you found a way, if you were making $120,000 a year and you were able to make that in 6 months, you just doubled your income. How crazy is that? Now, you might be going, Chris, well, how in the world okay, if I'm doing that and things are lovely and life is great and I'm flocking through the tulips, then awesome. But okay, if that's what we're doing, then help me understand, how, we go forward, right? Like, what am I doing there? What's going to help me make that decision? What's going to help me get there? What's going to help me, um, you know, make it work? You've got to know how to build a side business successfully. You got to understand what that really means to build the right way. You got to know that when it comes to building a side business the right way the first time, you've got to know you got to understand the components. Your employment chapter of your career is just that, an employment portion of your career. Your entire career can include building you a successful side business. So that now it is $60,000, you're starting to see, I'm getting it to 9 months. I'm getting it to 6 months. I'm getting it to 3 months. I done found a way to turn it into, now I'm doing it every single month. Hallelujah. Amen. Life is good, right? That's what happens. Because with a side business, what you end up building is you end up creating leverage. Now you can go do the things you want to do. Now life's interruptions don't interrupt so much. How about that? Right? Life's interruptions they don't interrupt so much now. It's like, it's a thing. It still happened. It sucks. I don't want to necessarily pay that much amount of money, but now I got it. So some people say, again, let's go back to that original statement. Money ain't everything. Okay. Today, if, the average household in America, a $400 financial hiccup can almost ruin a home. And I'm talking about even with a dual income. Well, if we found a way to make an additional $400 a month in a side business, I'm doing better than the majority of people in America. Think about that for a second. I'm not sitting there saying your side business has to do this, but if you were making an extra $400 a month, learn how to turn it into an extra 1,000, learn how to turn it into an extra 5,000, and think about what that does to your life, right? Think about how much different life becomes as a result of. That's the key. The key is, how do I start making this faster? So I know, and I'm going to show you one more thing, and then I'm going to have to run. But here's the reason why I bring this up. Because it is about how fast you make it. But there's one thing I want you to understand about your current employment chapter of your career. If you think today, all I got to do is work an X amount left number of years, and then I can, you're grossly underestimating your employment career, your chapter of your career. You are going to have to update the way you think, just like you update your phone, you update your computer, your laptop at work updates more than we do sometimes about the financial literacy and the way we think about life and business. How crazy is that? We want everything else to progress but us. I think it's about time you challenge yourself. So when we think about how fast it is, it's like, okay, I got a side business. I've been hustling, right? Some of us are going to be a little honest. I've been hustling. I ain't really made it a real business yet, right? Haven't really done the things that I need to. Well, I'm going to show you something that I've created. And I did it because I know what it's like when we're living in life, and we haven't really built what's necessary in order for my life to grow and change and be all that I know I'm supposed to have in life. Well, I created something for you, okay? And what I've created is the opportunity in life for you to challenge yourself. Okay? I created something in life for you to be able to challenge yourself. So let me show you what I've created. Number one, we're going to flip this here. And then for y'all, I'm just going to show you right here on the screen. All right. Let me flip this around real quick. Hold on. So for those of you on IG, guess what? Let me show y'all this. Y'all, I created, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's up, good people? Here's what I created, y'all. I created the Side Business Challenge. Okay? The Side Business Challenge is your opportunity to grow a successful side business. I know that what you need is to be able to earn it and make it faster. I know what it's like because I've had to do it. I understand building something and learning how to make it work best for you. Well, guess what? I've built something so that you can grow. We literally have a 5-day program, okay? It's called the Side Business Challenge. All right, Grow Your Side Business Challenge. So you could go to growyoursidebusiness.com right now. And for those on IG, I'm going to just go ahead and put it here in the chat. Grow Your Side Business. So I want you to understand that like coming to a live is good. It's all awesome, but you really need to get around people and work with folks to do it. Listen, the challenge is a 5-day challenge, right? We're going to teach you about collapsing time frames so that guess what? Now you can actually build what you need. Yes, guess when it starts? It starts June 20th, y'all. The week of June 20th. Now, how does this work? It's a challenge, okay? And what we're going to do is for 5 days, 1 hour a day, we are going to grow together. All right? We're going to grow and we're going to learn some things that a lot of times you don't necessarily get until you get in a room of people who are all in the same boat, who are all trying to learn and grow together. Well, guess what? We got 5 days that we're going to be working together. These 5 days are 1 hour a day. Day one, we're going to be spending time really breaking down and understanding like the power that you have as an employee, right? Why it's so important to do the things that you need to do. On day two, we cover leverage, right? So awesome. Day three, we're going to be tackling some of that self-talk, and I'm going to show you actually some specific things you could be doing that improve on day two and day three that are going to blow your mind about building your business. On day four, we're going to talk about some principles. I'm going to show you some things to be able to build and grow your side business that are going to absolutely be phenomenal. Day five, I'm going to show you something about abundance living in plain sight that you probably have never, ever seen before. Okay? growyoursidebusiness.com. Go there now. Join the challenge. Y'all, you got 2 ways you can join this challenge, okay? Now, the cool part is when you join the challenge, you got an option. All right, I'm going to scroll down here to the bottom. Now, you can join us with the $97 option, which is general admission. We're going to come together 1 hour inside of the Facebook group for everybody, and I'm going to pour in and give you everything that I've been learning from my experience, okay? But then also, you can join the VIP experience. The VIP experience, those people get to ask me questions. They get to share with and talk out loud and be able to say, hey, here's some things that I'm thinking about. Here's some things that I'm going through. Here's some stuff. I have a question right here. How do I handle this? Right? So for 5 days, we're going to spend time working together, building and growing our side business. GrowYourSideBusinessChallenge.com. GrowYourSideBusinessChallenge.com. Here's what you get. 5 days of your training and general admission. Access to the challenge Facebook group. Access to the notes. VIP get the same thing, but we get to go, well, I like to call it a pregame, right? They're going to be able to enjoy a pregame, okay, via Zoom, and we're going to get some bonus training as well. Listen, y'all, it is really important that you join our challenge. It's a 5-day challenge. Go ahead and get your ticket now. Don't sit around and wait. Get your ticket now. So that way you can be ready to grow and build the way you need to. It's available to you. It's here for you. And I'm ready to serve you and build your business. All right, let me go back here. Let me put this back. Let me, I think I got this wrong now. Okay. Yep, I gotta turn this back around. Okay. There we go. All right, cool. So there's that. And then let me pull my piece back over here. Okay, y'all. So listen. Grow your side business challenge. Jump in. All right. Jump in. Growyoursidebusiness.com. Growyoursidebusiness.com. I'm going to show you stuff that you didn't understand about the employment side of your career. And again, it's only because we got to update the way we think about working. And I'm going to show you how to 10x and improve the way you show up there. And then more importantly, from that, guess what's going to happen? Guess what's going to happen as a result? You're going to be able to do things that you didn't know you should have been doing a long time ago. And it's okay. You're not late to the party. Ain't nobody late. It's just when you find out, what do you do with the information that you have? All right. So go to growyoursidebusiness.com, jump in the challenge. Because I'm telling you right now, if you think doing this is great or just a little bit that I just showed you here or something, wait till you see what I got in store for you at the challenge. All right. Catch you guys on the flip side. Have a great, incredible day. Glad to be able to see you again. And I look forward to being able to see you in the challenge. Talk to you soon, everybody. Have an incredible weekend.